No.
Oh, that's good.
You should get some wireless stuff, Bob.
I should
Yeah.
tell our sponsors I need a headset.
All of our sponsors.
Yeah, you mean Stogie Road and Cigarprop?
All you gotta do is turn your head and ask.
Yeah.
I need a wireless headset.
I don't even have wires. I got a wire.
Yeah, I did have the camera there on that.
Why do I feel like we're so far away?
Because it's the fucking camera, Jen.
Are you able to slide over more, or is this it?
Jen, you're in the fucking picture. You don't need to slide over anymore. That's the whole idea to get another camera.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you guys are pretty centered.
Yeah. If anything, you got a lot of fucking room over there. You can move over a little bit, actually.
I just feel like I'm turned.
Can we do this again at another time? Because I need to.
Hand me
Happy New Year.
that thing. Happy New Year.
Can I do what? The boxing?
Yeah. We are a little yellow. I can.
Because look at the light.
All right.
That probably is
so
all
I'll
full of
put
tobacco freaking stain.
I know, right?
Oh, it looks terrible.
I looked at my artwork over here
that's
of
worse.
my old white boxes, and they're
Just
fucking
turn that
yellow.
on. Oh,
Yeah.
are they?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you gotta hit the blue button.
Oh.
Here, Jen, would this one make you happier?
I don't think that makes
That'll
us
make
look
you
any
happier.
better, but whatever, it's fine.
All right.
Um,
All right.
Go
We'll
down
adjust,
and look here.
Yes.
adjust the white
Thank
balance
you.
now. There we go.
Yes, that's better. Appreciate it.
Well, we went back to the old one.
The old one. What? Oh, the old camera. Okay.
Because you would just have to move that to like that monitor. So this way,
Yeah, Kerr.
Yeah. Nothing like
can't you just hook it to the top of the monitor?
Do you really want to have a conversation about monitors and attaching shit? Just how easy it is?
Doesn't it just clip on the top of it?
No, it doesn't just clip on the top of it.
Yeah, it's not super easy like hooking up a dishwasher or something, you know.
That was a fucking nightmare.
I don't want to talk about it.
No, we are going to talk about it.
It works now.
Yeah, it works now. Fucking, Anyway, but it's just it was
Happy New Year.
It was testing out.
Happy New
I was
Year.
testing out the camera, and then the whole thing with this new screen. But we can get into that stuff. We've got to do our intro.
Yeah, Happy New Year! First bullies of the new year. We got
It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
It's been because we Christmas and New Year both fell on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, so I know it's tough getting us all together during the week.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we got the new I Tapped That show tomorrow, and I'm kind of excited. We're booked up through April. I think we're booking for April now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very
Kevin,
nice.
it's a new year. You still have to lead us off.
Yes, I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jess.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Kerr,
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jen.
and we are the
Broadleaf
Broadleaf
Bullies.
Bullies.
We talk. You listen. We're the Broadleaf Bullies. And here's your hosts, Kev, Kerr, Jessie, and Jen.
Now, Kerr, is the Broadleaf Bullies on Apple Podcast?
Yes.
Should be, yeah.
It is? Okay. I've been trying. I've been trying to get the I Tapped That show on the Apple Podcast for like a month. And they make you jump through some hoops to get your
Takes a
podcast.
while though.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I think that was the last one. To
Yeah.
fall.
Yeah, I think it's my last one as well. I was just on there tonight. You know, it was like I got all signed
because,
up and did everything, and then I went back and checked, and I was like, oh, now you got to update your tax information and all of this. I'm like, why don't you tell me this a month ago when I started?
Craig was
Really? You do all that
I don't
shit?
remember that.
I remember all doing all that.
Yeah, Craig was wondering because he
Yeah.
likes to listen.
We all need to go back and
So-
double check because we were on the Apple because I used to get notifications.
Oh, that's kind of I have to I had to update my tax information, banking information.
Really?
I had to subscribe. I got to pay like $20 a year.
What?
I think you're gonna have to.
Especially with Podbean or whatever that place is.
Yeah, I use Buzzsprout, but they're all
Buzzsprout. That's what it is. A
Oh, okay.
Buzzsprout. Yeah, and it connects with everything.
Yeah, it was. It connected with everything. Just it wouldn't. I had to create an Apple ID. And then and then do that. I had to.
You're not an
submit-
Apple
Yeah, you're
person,
not
maybe
an
that's
Apple
why.
user.
No.
So.
Yeah, they probably just made me jump through the hoops.
That's probably why.
This Android guy wants to be
Yeah,
on our
exactly.
exclusive network.
Yes.
So yeah,
Thinks you're a spy.
Probably.
yeah.
Jess signed in. She would just sign in under
Yeah,
her
yeah.
Just in my
ID.
cloud. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why you had. That's
that
why you
would
had to
be
put
Kevin
everything
would
in
not
it.
be in charge.
No, he would not have control. So
Yeah.
I
then,
gotta
therefore we
get
couldn't
Jess
do it.
rolling. I know I
No.
get Jess started. I still.
So-
So, what are you smoking tonight, Kev?
I am smoking the H Upman. This is the AJ Fernandez blend. I got this in the latest Corona Cigar of the Month Club shipment.
Not bad cigar. Jess, what are you smoking?
A PDM Corojo by JC Newman.
Hey.
Really like those cigars.
I am smoking the blackened,
You were like
Oh.
that on the weekend.
And
Smoking
you,
that yesterday.
and I'm drinking the blackened.
You killed
oh
that.
right. Did you find a box of those, or did you get like a 5-pack or something?
No, Boda.
Boda carries.
Jen got me the original order, and
Oh,
then
nice.
Boda's got them all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been
nice.
waiting to.
Yeah, because only a select few lounges I thought got.
Yeah, I think the DDRP lounges got the first shipment, and then they went,
Boda had
nationwide.
like what 3 or 4 different sizes.
Yeah, they got all the Vitolas, everything.
Oh, do they?
Nice.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So yeah,
Jennifer, what are you smoking tonight?
I'm smoking a Sweetgrass Gringo.
Are you?
you?
Yes, it's a new year.
Oh.
Are you seriously smoking it?
Yes.
She smoked.
Oh!
Guess what my first one was yesterday, Jessica?
Which
I
one?
loved it too. Take a guess. Not gonna tell you.
Sweet Jane.
No.
Oh, is
Kevin,
it from
you take a
Care? Is it
guess.
from Cares?
Fat
No.
bottom,
No,
Bet-
I didn't.
Oh.
That would not be my first choice.
fat bottom Betty.
No. You guys are close though. Try again.
A Crazy Alice.
No. I did buy one though.
The
What's the last of that series?
The Leather Rose.
Yeah.
Leather
Leather
Rose, yeah.
I had
He had one last night too.
I had one last night as well.
Yeah, it was.
And then it was good. I'll tell you in a
You
second.
need to get some tobacs. You would really
Yeah.
like. The
You know what
tobacs.
I think Jen would like, because she's a coffee and tea person, is the
I'm not a tea person.
I thought you were a tea person, like not like a cold tea person, not a hot tea.
No, not a hot tea at all.
Yeah, no, the acid cold infusion. It's like
Oh,
I had a
that's
Cuba
good one.
Cuba today. I liked it. Well, let me go back. Yesterday with the Leather Rose,
It was
I
gonna be a great
understand it's
conversation.
I think this is really Kerr's gonna regret that I wanted to try some.
My advice to her
cigars.
was, you should really connect with Jess when she's talking to me. I'm like,
I've-
you
and
recently,
even-
Jess will help you out with this. Jen.
Even the Sweetgrass is similar. I feel like I'm like smoking a real dark cup of coffee that's almost burnt. And that's how it was with the Leather Rose yesterday. It was good. I just felt like when Kerry would say, wow, your coffee tasted a little burnt. I'm like, wow, I thought it was a really good cup of coffee. I tasted no changes. And then today, I'll send you a picture. I felt he had me try like 4 different ones.
Okay.
And
traditional or infused.
Both.
Oh, okay.
I did deconstructed,
She
Yeah.
did the deconstructed edition 35.
and I just felt one was a little lighter than the other, but they both taste the same. I felt like it was a really good cigarette.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And that's the only way I could describe it. The honey, whatever one, just was,
the Havana Honeys.
it tasted like coffee that was really sweet.
Mhm.
And
a Dolce. There was it was like these really cheap.
I know what you're talking about. I've had them before. Yeah. Yeah.
Dolce.
They come in like a tin. You can buy like.
No,
little
yeah.
ones.
These came in a box, and it was a really
Oh,
weird
okay.
Vitola. They were barber poles, and
Oh.
they're just really
interesting.
kind of flavored cheap. I was looking at doing flavored barber poles, and I was kind of like, I just picked up this box. It was really cheap. So she did that one, and then she did the Cuba Cuba.
And I thought the Cuba Cuba was good because
Whatever happened to the cigars that were out in the railing?
I don't know. I didn't take them. Maybe the squirrels have them.
Yeah.
Are smoking the cigars right now. The deer, Tilden deer, are going to be puffing away.
It's gonna be interesting to see as you progress because you have such a good food palate and
and
a
that's
drink
what is
palate.
annoying me. Like I'm not patient enough, and
Annoying,
like I
Fucking.
I'm waiting for the like I want to taste the pepper and like
Right.
everything I hear you guys talk about and flavor bombs, and I taste burnt coffee.
Listen, dude,
Like,
if you
that's
feel that way, I wish I would have just told Kevin, screw you. I don't need these infused cigars. Like, not that infused is bad.
like
I
they're
wish
good,
I
but
would
I
have
just
went.
I don't get
Maybe
it.
try a stronger one.
Yeah,
I mean,
You wish you
if
would. You wish you would have went somewhere. Jess, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I'm saying like I wish I would have tried like some stronger, heavier cigars, maybe a little bit more fuller bodied, because I would know when to like fall back. I wouldn't puff on it until I felt sick. If you start feeling a little like, ooh, this is strong, you would stop yourself, but
I
you
don't
would
know
get
if
the
I
notes.
would, because
But you see.
I didn't eat it all
but
yesterday.
I understand
and
that, but
smoking.
this is what I was telling you yesterday, and this is why the enjoyment and relaxation of smoking cigars.
I was relaxed.
I'm glad you were. Jess is trying to explain something to you, and you keep talking. You have to, if you want to learn about the stuff and kind of get some feedback, you have to fucking use your ears. It just have to, because I told her, I said, when I start smoking cigars, I learned a lot from you guys. I learned a lot, and Bob's cigar guy. I mean, early on when Bob and I were talking, I listened to what he did and how he kind of worked through his palate. Duncan, and Daryl and I talk about it all the time, because there's times I'll get a flavor of something, of cigar, and I can't explain it. I don't know what it is.
Right.
Or I'll ask you, like Kevin, or you, I'll be like, what did you get off that cigar? Because it may help me relate to what I'm smoking and the flavor that I'm getting that I may not be able to put my finger on.
I do that just good all the time. Like, so I'll go get her and I'm like, hey, can you come in here for a second?
Yeah,
Like,
he made me take a cold draw off a cigar, and I hate doing that. It's not my thing. It's Kevin's thing. And he didn't tell me what he got. And I said, oh, I got like a raisin kind of fig taste. And he's like, I got, what was it, black cherry?
No, apple pie.
Or apple pie.
But,
and I was
cherry
like,
pie.
Cherry pie. And I was like, man, I guess I could
but there are
see
times
the
I'm smoking it, and like I'm like doing a, like the connoisseur club where I'm writing my notes or something, and I'm like, I can't get it. And then generally she'll always say it, and I'm like, that's it. Yeah. That's the weird...
I did a cold draw though, because I have always, even though I may not act it, very much listen to what Kerr says, Jess says, Kevin says about what they taste, the notes, how it comes across, the transitions. Like I have it in my head. I'm just waiting to experience it, and it's frustrating that I
told you need to be patient about it, because it was like, she's like, I'm smoking a cigar and it's really sweet. Now it just tastes like, I don't know, like tobacco. I go, that's because there's tobacco in it.
Yeah, and I inhaled a couple times, and I have to say I did like the burn in my lungs because of being a former cigarette smoker.
Yeah, that took me a little bit to not ever really.
Yeah, I really have
to
stop.
There are cigar smokers that do inhale though, but when I discovered the retro hail, that quickly cured me of ever going in and like trying to inhale it. But Kevin's not a retro really, and so I think the cold draw for you is like kind of like. Yeah, a thing that I just don't do, because I retro and I feel like I get so much more from. And sometimes when you do a cold draw on a cigar, I'm sorry, sometimes it has like a bitter taste, and I can't get past that taste sometimes, and it ruins a cigar for me.
It does, but there's probably no one other than like humidor maintenance. That's my number one question I get on humidor maintenance. No, the second question I always get from new cigar smokers that reach out to me is like, I can't get the flavors that you get. I can't get the flavors that Brian, Bob, Coop, Eric gets, and I'm frustrated. And I always tell people, I say, just relax, take your time, just enjoy the cigars.
Listen,
I really think I'm just in it for the merch.
Yeah. No, you want to know something though?
To get some good swag.
It will be nice when you do actually have that cigar that does it for you. You'll know it when it happens, and you're going to go through this process of like, oh, this one was okay, or like, I don't really know what to expect, but you'll know when you get that cigar that's like, yes, that's
I know. I'm still, I don't know.
You don't know though. That's what I'm saying. This is the part you automatically said, I don't think so.
Yeah,
and you smoked three cigars.
I was doing this for a couple of years, and I can remember the exact time that I smoked a cigar, what I was doing. I remember the exact cigar, and it's just like, like it came together.
Was it a Camacho? Because I remember you smoking.
It was the Army of Angels by
really?
Corona. I remember sitting there at my computer because I remember going to the humidor and I was busy. I don't know what I was doing, taxes, whatever it was. And I just grabbed a random cigar because I didn't want to, think about it, but I was smoking it. And then like these flavors came out. And then I remember going, oh my God, this tastes like the FSG. Somebody knocked off the FSG flavor and it was great. And then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, it's got FSG in it. And I'm like, oh, right. And then I was so proud. It's like at that moment. That aha, it was like, I picked it out. I picked out a flavor of a cigar, not knowing what the cigar was. So
yeah, see, for me, like Kevin's very particular. He's very like a matter of fact of certain cigars that he already knows he's probably going to like in his wheelhouse. And for me, it was like a fun experiment kind of at first. So like anytime we went somewhere, I always just bought like the house blends and stuff because I didn't care about bands. I didn't care about who made it. I didn't care about where it came from, what the wrapper was. Like I was disinterested. Like Kevin, that's his thing. That was not mine. So it was nice though to have that separate, like approach to it because, it kind of was like a good conversation. Like, cause he was like, oh, I'm never going to smoke those, So it was like nice to like get him to kind of try some different things. And then I tried some stuff cause I refused for the longest time to smoke an FSG. Remember? Like I was like, nope. And then Kevin was like, we're going to do all cigars with FSG. And I really enjoyed a lot of them. Some of them were not, I didn't care for. But
there are some that I don't care for that has that tobacco.
But I'm really excited for you, Jen. Yay! Happy New Year!
I'll send you pictures from yesterday.
Yes.
I was dying to send pictures and put it on our chat, but I'm like, no, we just need to surprise you. And, it was just, you know what? Let's try something new. It will make us do more things together.
Yeah, I love the.
That's a good thing.
I love the comments that I'll get.
Shut up, Jess.
That's a great thing.
When we post a picture together, someone will comment, "Oh, I wish I could get my wife or girlfriend to smoke with me." I go, "Do you? Do you want to double your cigar bill?" I go, "Watch what you wish for."
I don't think I'm going to smoke that much, though.
No.
Like you've said, Jess, it takes a lot of time, and that was one thing Joe was talking to me about in the kitchen. Is he's like, "Oh, so what did you like?" And he's like, "You got to try the Big Tony." I said, "I liked the size of the leather rose." I go, because the time we were at Boda's, I had my drink, I finished it. It was a perfect amount of time. Like I can't sit for hours at a time.
I can't either. Yeah. That's why
I'll fall asleep.
So much hate Lanceros.
So Go ahead, Jess. I'm sorry.
That's your thing, right? Like, no, you could sit there with a Lancero.
So hopefully I'll taste something different shortly. I'm coming into the Candela.
But like Kevin can too. Like you and Kerr are very similar in your relaxation of the cigar. I mean,
and not talk.
Yeah,
just sit there. And
that was my joke yesterday, Jess. We sat at the bar.
Like,
not to interrupt you, but we sat at the bar. Sat at the bar, got a drink, got a cigar, and I'm sitting there smoking. And Jen's sitting there going, they're second. And I go, when you guys asked what I do with Kev when we go to the cigar bar? She's like, yeah. I go, this is what we do. I said, honestly, Kev and I could sit there. I said, we sat at the cigar bar across from each other, smoking a cigar, probably didn't say a word to each other for 10 fucking minutes. I would need to
play a board game.
I said,
I don't want to do chess.
Smoking a cigar.
Like, and then it was just like Monopoly or something.
You bring up a topic, you start talking about a cigar, and then you're quiet again for another 10, 15 minutes.
What I do is I go outside, I let the dogs out, like Wyatt will be outside, and then that way I'm not like, he could be around me because it's outdoors smoking the cigar. Mm-hmm. And like sometimes I'll have like a conversation with him, or like I'm on my phone, or that's like a way of me like unwinding. But like when I'm in here, it's a little bit different. Sometimes I feel like uncomfortable because Kevin's in his like chair and I'm over here, and then I'm like, this just feels wrong. Like it's not like we're not interacting. He's on his computer and I'm just kind of like.
It was nice this morning having coffee and sitting out, on the deck. It was cold. I was freezing.
It wasn't that bad.
It was nice, but it was just a lot of time, and I need to get to the grocery store and get things done. And it's like
that's the reason why you take up smoking cigars is to relax. That's the whole idea behind it. And even with the cigars you were trying, the one thing I was explaining to you is, and to Kevin and Jess's point, I was smoking cigars for a while. You had got me to leave a pack for Christmas. And it wasn't until I smoked the Paul Gamarian Lancero that was rolled in 1999 where I smoked it and I got like all these crazy like flavors.
Yeah.
I got freaking cedar. I got aged tobacco. It transitioned. And then after that is really when that was the aha moment for me.
Yeah.
When I was like, okay, now I kind of understand what I'm smoking. And then I remember talking to Bob one time about, and he was equating it to food. And I said, the one thing he did that I did find for me, I appreciated was he'd go in and he would like look at the wheel chart. He like, if it's nutmeg, I'm going to go taste nutmeg in the cabinet. I want to know what nutmeg tastes like. So if I taste it in a cigar, I can identify instead of going, there's a flavor here I can't identify. So
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so I found that. I was like, okay, that's a pretty cool approach. So I told Jen, maybe you should do something like that, to kind of get an idea of what it's like. And then the next part was when we start making our cigars in Honduras was the Copan tobacco. That had a very nutty flavor to it. And when I start talking about the nuttiness of it, that's when they were like, well, that's the Copan tobacco that you were smoking. So then I could pick that up now.
Yeah.
Like you said with the FSG, or there's some other tobaccos. Chris is actually sending me wrapper binder filler tobaccos in the next shipment because one of my goals in 2023 is learn how to roll cigars.
Ooh, that's going to be fun.
So he's going to be sending me some tobacco, and that's going to be an opportunity for you, Jen, to smoke the tobaccos. What do they call them, Kev?
Either puritos or tabaqueros. I think most people call them puritos.
Yeah. Do they call them? I thought it was the other How do you say?
Steve Saka calls them tabaqueros, but a lot of blenders call them just puritos.
Well, purito sounds easier to pronounce for me, so I'll be calling them that.
Yeah, I guess the other one is saying it's a pure tobacco, the tobacco puritos or whatever.
Okay.
But that's going to be an opportunity to kind of like taste each individual tobacco flavor.
Yeah.
So we had a good time yesterday at Boda's. I mean, she picked up a couple cigars, and I had freaking my whiskey. I had my bourbon. I was smoking, I think, what did I smoke yesterday? Did I smoke a Blackened?
A Blackened. You had that first, and then
you had a Blackworks.
I can't remember.
A killer.
The Killer B, the new Killer B.
Yeah. Ooh, how was it?
It was good.
Okay.
But now when I see the lineup for Blackworks, I'd rather get this for $9.99 or $10 than have to buy something for $13-$14.
Is that how much they're going for?
They are.
Yeah.
I mean, they had their event cigars, the multi barber pole now.
Yeah.
They're like $18. And
see,
I'm looking
now
at that.
I have a bunch of old like the Blackworks, like the Hornet. I have I have been hoarding, so I smoke one every few months just because some of them are like 4 years old, 5 years old.
That was 4 or 5 years old. The Killer Bee and the Hornet. That's some great fucking cigar.
I have 3 left of each, and I'm really I just smoked one not long ago, so I'm like, all right, in a few more months I'll smoke another one because I really enjoy those. I really love those cigars.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah,
but I haven't had anything new from them. So
the newer stuff, even the newer blends, it's still good. But I remember being at your mom's house, sitting in the back, lighting up that. I knew exactly what I was doing, and I had my laptop. I had a cup of coffee, and I lit it up, and I closed my laptop lid and put it down and sat and enjoyed that cigar because it just had that incredible aged tobacco flavor. It had freaking some of that leathery,
the leather
to it, but it wasn't too spicy. I mean, and that was the Green Hornet. That's the one that Matt gave me from Ned's. And now it's just the pricing is just for me.
Yeah, is it worth it?
The juice isn't worth the squeeze.
I get what you're saying. I don't think I would want, as much as I enjoy that cigar, if I'm not going to have that same category of a cigar, there's no way I would be happy paying that.
And it was like, that's why, when I talk to folks and I sit there and think, but when they talk about pricing, I'm looking at my Toros are $9.99. I'm like, and I look at the humidor, I'm like, give me a fucking break. These are great prices. They're competitive.
Yeah.
But the Blackened, that is for me is the biggest surprise is the pricing of these cigars.
Yeah.
and the quality and the flavor and just everything about it. Will's going to be in town on February 3rd.
Oh,
to an event
Oh no, it's a 3rd.
February 3rd at Boda. I'm going to go to that event.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I mean, that's the thing is like Kevin, I remember that moment. I remember the cigar and I remember how things take off. And it's literally just having conversations with people and listening to them on what the flavor they get, what they experienced. And then you kind of marble that in with what you're going through and what you see. Like,
I'll taste anything
I'll
different.
sit and listen to Daryl
it's all the same
forever because he's very analytic and he's very, detailed on things. And even if I say, yeah, I get a pepper taste, what kind of pepper?
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's like he's like grills you on what flavor it is. And it actually helps me out getting to the difference between like a white pepper, a black pepper, maybe a spice like a jalapeno spice or something
Paprika.
That's more paprika, but a little bit more like deeper in the back of your throat and olfactory.
Right.
Baking spices, a little
That's
bit
what I was
more
about
like
to
a warm spice,
Right. I just bought some other type of like spices and like I am now starting to like realize like the difference between like really some of these like more peppery spices. There's almost different levels of how it affects from the time it hits your tongue to the back of your throat, like
and there's like 150 different types of paprika.
So many different things that you could do. But I'm, for me, I guess I can pick up on notes, but I don't always know how to articulate like exactly what it is because
that's my problem.
I just don't know. But I think that's okay. I think I don't need to know. For me, it's kind of like, well, I like that taste, so I want more of that. So the next time I smoke something that's similar, I'm like, oh, yeah, it reminds me of this cigar. But for you kind of are like, what is this?
I want to know what it is. But I also do get a lot of like, sometimes it's just a story. It's like when I get a really deep barnyard like manure, and then I really wasn't getting that a whole lot. And then before I took the kids out to Shannon's, and walking through the farm and the manure,
then
the
you
hay,
understood what it really,
and then it was after that, I was getting, I'm like, oh, like that's what I'm getting is that wet hay versus a dry hay, that just that wet earth versus.
Have you ever put hay in your mouth and chewed on the
No, I wanted to.
You should.
Yeah, I thought about one time is getting some and just actually chewing the hay. And
well, no, I'm saying you should. I mean, have you ever put like grass in your mouth or anything like that?
Wood?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well,
put
some wood in your mouth, Kev.
Yeah, wood's easy for me, especially like because usually.
I have to out us. I found the stick. The whittled stick.
Yes,
and you
I heard.
Thought I didn't have it in the package.
I heard.
I knew it was in there.
We're looking for a 6-inch cigar size stick.
I wasn't looking
how
for
big was that thing that it would have a 6-inch cigar?
It was
that's what I told Kevin. I'm like, how big was that fucking face, Kev?
Yeah.
First off, he stepped on it and over it like 20 million times in the garage because it must have fallen into when he unwrapped it. It was probably in the box, and then we put the box out in the garage, and it fell out, right? So finally I pick it. I go, Kevin, this is the cigar stick Kerr was talking about.
That's the Tilden Woods cigar.
Yeah,
that's right from Tilden Woods.
I was like, we both walked over it 1,000 times. Like, that can't be it. That was just a twig. He's like, I thought maybe it was from the dogs or something, but I laughed. Sorry,
but on the woods, like I said, being turning all the different types of woods and having that.
You probably get that
and
there,
dust
right?
in the air. Like I said, I can pick out cedar. I can pick out a couple.
I think
different.
Most people can pick out cedar,
and just some of the woods like the red oak, just the ones that I've worked with. Just smelling that for hours. And then for me, I get a lot of cardboard dust. I'll put that as a flavor note because dealing with cardboard so much. It's always in my mouth. It's always in my.
I never thought about that either.
Yeah, I get a lot of. There's some cigars I get heavy, like I get cardboard from it, just because I working. Always open up cardboard boxes, whether I was getting shipments of cigars or even prior. I mean, what fucking cardboard smells like after a while.
Oh yeah, I try and tell people it's not a bad thing. When I say it's a cardboard dust, I go, it's not bad. that's just the flavor I'm getting. It's a good flavor, but that's just, people are like, oh, I don't want a cigar that tastes like cardboard.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's, it's not what I mean. It's a cardboard is a type of wood.
Jen, are you like just drinking water? Or are you having coffee?
I'm just having water now. I drank a lot of coffee today. Like, it's actually funny. I woke up at
killing you.
Yeah. I woke up at 5:45 and couldn't fall asleep. So, I started drinking coffee at 7:30.
Yeah.
And then early this afternoon, I asked Kerr to make me a quad shot latte, and I like gulped it down. It was delicious. And then I'm like, I'm taking a nap, and I immediately fell asleep for an hour and a half. So
oh my gosh, I wish I could have.
Yeah,
I crushed up some Ativan and put it in.
I think so. Like I passed out immediately finishing it, and now I'm just drinking water because I was drinking Powerade today. But like, I don't know how far into the sweetgrass, and like I always hear, the grassiness, and people don't like Candela. I'm not tasting a difference.
You gotta be patient.
Yeah,
you gotta start trying retrohale. Maybe that helps
but my
out.
sinuses are always clogged. So even when I was
it just takes time. It just takes time. It's the first, I'm telling you, there's a lot of cigar reviewers out there who don't have a good fucking palate. They just look up the cigar, figure out what the hell's on the other reviews, and then they sit there and fake it because they don't know.
Yeah.
Because I've sat down with them and had conversations with them, and you're like, start talking about the flavors of the cigar, and they, on the cuff, they can't freaking really articulate.
Listen, I would rather someone just say, hey, I just enjoy cigars for the tobacco flavor. Like, who cares if you get any notes? Sometimes I just don't get any. I'm
going to do it more for the diet age. If I smoke a cigar, I'm not eating. So that's going to be kind of my mindset.
Yeah, I do. I just finished up the Connoisseur Club tonight, and on each cigar, I'm lucky to get like two different notes, out of each cigar. I mean, I don't get these wild.
I think notes. I just don't care. Like for me, I stopped searching because like there for a while, I was always kind of like, I really want to dive deep into trying to figure, and then it was like ruining the experience for me. So now I feel like it comes more natural because I'm not trying to think too much about it. I'm just kind of like enjoying it. And when something like hits me, I'm like, oh, that's what that is. Like, oh, I got like a hay note or, an earthy, undertone there. Or like
I'll try a cigar based on what it looks like and what the logo looks like.
And there are a lot of people out there that do that. There's a lot of people out there that, that's what they look for.
Yeah. It's like picking your favorite football team. Who has the prettiest color?
Yeah, which is fun.
And then you get to go to your first event. That'll be
no rules. Like you make the rules for you.
Oh, there's rules, yes.
I don't think I can do this all day. I'm still not going to be at an event.
There's rules,
all day long.
Well, I
don't find it.
That event with Will, that'll be a blackened event, So
I'll go to that just to see what they have.
Now, are you guys going to be
a smaller one?
Are you guys going to be back in town on the 3rd? I thought you were going away for like 2 weeks.
Back on the 29th.
No,
okay,
like
2 weeks.
I for some reason I thought you said
unless I get abducted, and that's what I'm really hoping for. I really do. I need a break.
Yeah,
I need a vacation. I want the aliens to take me
out.
We're just probe the shit out of me. I'll be happy.
25th to 29th. That's it.
But what's crazy is the flavor profile when you talk about it. And I had this conversation with Daryl. Is Kevin, like you said, you get different woods, and then you get the flavor. And Jess, you said about the peppers, nuts.
Oh yeah, I get
different types of flavor of the nuts that you eat.
Well, do you eat the mixed or do you eat just like peanuts? Like
I eat mixed because I love nuts, right? But I will put I remember I tell Daryl one day, so I get a nutty flavor. He's like, "What kind of nut?" I'm like, fucking nut, Daryl.
Well, how often do you eat pistachios?
I got a bag of them right here.
Okay. So I love pistachios, and I haven't eaten pistachios in years. And every once in a while, I get such a strong pistachio like flavor.
Or walnut. Walnuts.
The walnuts.
I love walnuts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why I told Darren, and I was like, okay, so you get that kind of standard nutty, like they call it a meaty nut, like a cashew.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It has a little bit more oily flavor to it, a little bit more richness to it. But then if you get like a walnut, that has a nutty flavor, but it's a little bit more bitter.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and then as I started eating,
I say
kind
it's
of nuts,
chalky, like a chalky kind of bitter.
Right. There's some nuts that are chalky. And it's like when I start like eating these different nuts and I'll smoke a cigar, I'll be like, okay, I'm getting a slight nutty, but what can I think to myself? I'm like, what kind of nut? And if I can't figure it out, I'll go through my freaking mixed nuts and I'll pick them out.
There you go.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just when it comes to just enjoy the freaking cigar, enjoy the company that you're with, and don't put so much pressure or angst on, am I getting XYZ out of a cigar? Because I'm telling you, please, I hear you wanting to say something, so unwind. Most of the people that do the cigar reviews and freaking give their scores and whatever, they don't know it's just a good cigar. Or like Jess said, they may like the manufacturer, they may like the rep. So it's like, this is a really, really good cigar. Okay,
I believe there are people out there though that really pick up on stuff that's incredible, right? But they're, an anomaly kind of. Like they have such an incredible palate that it wouldn't just be for cigars. It could be for food. It could be for drinks. It could be.
That's Val.
Yeah,
Val Bradshaw.
They have this ability.
A barbecue taster, a wine sommelier. Right. She's what they call a super taster. She's like an anomaly.
Pretty impressive with her credentials.
Yeah. Right. And so it's cool. I look up to that whole level, but I'm not trying to be on that level whatsoever.
I do more of the science of it. Like I want
and I get that.
Like break it down and
well, you can break it down silently then.
I have a feeling my cigar
silent science.
My cigar smoking is going to be short-lived.
No. Listen, I enjoy having conversation with you about it, but when you start going down a rabbit hole,
you
will. I'm
sure I will.
But I can't remember if it was Chris who was telling me,
I annoy the shit out of Kevin all the time.
What's funny is there's a story, I cannot remember where I saw it or heard it, but like, just how knowledgeable their folks are in Vietnam, Thailand, China. I wish I knew where I freaking heard this story, but
I know what story. Wasn't it on the show?
It was on the show. That's where it was.
Who was telling us about that?
Well, the guy sat back to back, and blow the smoke in a freaking jar, and the guy could tell what fucking tobacco was in the cigar.
It was West Tampa Tobacco.
Oh, Rick Rodriguez.
Rick Rodriguez was telling us.
Yes, our last show of the year.
Sorry, Rick. I knew his name, but it took me a minute to get around that.
I remember that story. I couldn't remember where, but it was like hearing that. And I talked to Dr. Rodriguez, and Dr. Rodriguez was like, I can tell the tobacco by looking at the color, the smoke, and by the smell. I'll walk by a cigar and smell it. Now, you're talking about a guy who's been in the tobacco field since he's been 5.
Yeah.
You know. And
it's just ingrained. Yeah.
It's ingrained. So, they're going to know that shit. But, I mean, what part of a cigar is that scientific that you need to break it apart molecularly?
That's just how my mind is.
I didn't ask you that. I know what your mind is. And I'm asking you, how's your mind taking that and translating it into scientific?
And that's what's frustrating is I can't figure it out. Like it's still all tasting the same. And I'm probably easily a third into this. So I've gone through the brown, green. I'm coming back into the brown, and it's all the same. And I understand that's the wrapper and the filler. I understand the concept of it and how it's made. But I really kind of like an experiment or chemistry or even doing
So let me ask you a question too, though, Jen. Did you already smoke a cigar today?
Earlier, way earlier.
Okay, what also did you? And then I also tell Kevin all the time. And sometimes I'm sorry that cigar can trash your tongue.
No,
for me, it has a coating that kind of almost stays. Anytime some will linger. But I also tell Kevin all the time. I'm like, there's certain things when I smoke and then I eat something, if I try to smoke another cigar, especially one that I find to be a little bit more mild, which I do find Candelas to be a little bit more mild. I don't know that I can ever tell you what I'm tasting either from that. So sometimes I think it's
mouthwash after it because I wanted to.
Yeah, that right there will trash your mouth for a cigar.
Yeah, that'll trash your mouth. That's why I said earlier.
But that was this morning.
But you're bringing something up, and you have an expert like Jess giving you some advice.
Oh, I'm not an expert. Yeah. Get out of here. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, there's two things before I got to go run. Two things. One is that's why I said I love club soda or like Perrier. That is a palate cleanser.
I don't like that.
I will say though,
I'm not saying use fucking Perrier. I'm saying it's a palate cleanser.
No,
ginger,
the
palate cleanser.
I don't like ginger.
The club soda, Kevin and I, we had bought some.
You're missing my fucking point.
It actually wasn't that bad because we just swished it around and then spit it out.
Right. The point is to cleanse your palate. And,
it worked.
And mouthwash
is
not a palate cleanser.
No.
Please let me finish here. But that is not a palate cleanser because that could affect it too. You said something earlier that I pointed out to you too, that maybe you need to take these small victories and freaking build on it instead of always going off on this tangent. You said, I smoked a deconstructed cigar.
Yeah.
And they both tasted different, but they both also kind of tasted the same. And I'm like, that's the whole idea behind the deconstructed.
Right.
Because you get the same filler, the same binder, two different wrappers. You're going to be like, this is similar, but there's something different about them. And that is a victory of being able to distinguish two cigars, which are in a blend, but they're separated. So that's good. I know you don't. I know you're going to find a negative to that.
No. I think
no. She will. I'm not saying you.
This is all really cool. I'm really excited. I can't wait now to smoke a cigar with you, Jen.
Now, the one thing that Steve Saka had taught me when we were rolling the little Puritos, the Tabaqueros, and that's what, when Kerr gets that tobacco, I think that'll definitely help. It helped me a lot smoking just all of one leaf and then the next and the next. But cleansing the palate in between, I hate seltzer water.
I hate seltzer water. But I only did the mouthwash just because it was early morning. I'm like, I drank a lot of coffee already too, and type of thing. Like almost I consider like how you use a lemon sorbet in between courses.
Yeah. Exactly.
But like honestly, this still tastes like everything else I had yesterday and today.
Okay.
And it's kind of I'm glad he's not here because it will just annoy him even more. And he's getting very frustrated with me. It's kind of like I'll smoke one every now and then, but it's just not, I guess my expectations were set far higher just because of listening to you guys and seeing Kerr go through it. And I could always smell and tell him, oh, I smell this and that. And now that I'm tasting it, it's like the only thing that really changed was when I had the Cuba with that. I could really taste the sweet. It was almost like someone put some sugar on my lips and then I drank
you could taste
coffee.
The tobacco is strong in those.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, and those are dipped in sugar, so like a sugar.
Yeah, you want to know something? I think you just your palate can handle stronger stuff. I think
so too. That's why, like the leather rose, I'm like, wow, I liked it. It was strong, and that was my very first cigar.
I think you are just past any kind of like easing in. I think you could handle some oomph, and I think you need it in order to maybe stick with it or like explore a little bit more. But I will say the one thing that I did do was I kept like a little notebook, and that helped me every time I started smoking like a new cigar. I would then write down like an initial thought. Like I didn't write any excessive stuff.
Just smoke it. My tongue's been in your mouth. Stop it.
Kevin licks his cigars. I'm convinced.
I do. Yeah. But
like it's always so moist. I'm like, why is it so moist?
It's so hot, Kevin. It's so hot.
But cleansing the palate, and I said I hate seltzer water.
I like that a lot because it's very smooth.
But the one thing that
taste burnt at all.
Yeah, there you go.
And the one thing that Steve Saka had taught us during that class was have room temperature seltzer water, put it in your mouth, swish it around, spit it out, and then have and he had fresh coffee beans on the table to where you put it up your nose, you inhale deeply through your nose, and the coffee beans will cleanse your olfactories.
Yeah.
And then
it's the same concept of like the perfume, like you're cleansing your nasal and everything too. I don't know. I'm super excited. I think whatever you decide to do is awesome.
Well, I'll smoke a cigar with you guys, but I just can't. I'm just stating now. There's no way I'm sitting for hours.
No, I don't.
Unless
we're
playing a game.
Don't do that
bring
now.
Something like Uno or I don't know, Shoots and Ladders or something.
Listen,
there you go, Karen. Bring the Shoots and Ladders to Boda.
Kevin can go.
I wish my wife would smoke cigars with me.
We could do like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Listen, I can't sit at a lounge for that long.
I can sit at a lounge for 8-10 hours.
I'm like, I'm out of here.
And I don't play chess. I maybe backgammon. I don't know.
No, listen. It's the thing when it comes to smoking cigars is this is where we get into.
This is a bigger ring gauge.
No shit. Oh. Yeah, very much so. Very good.
Is soggy.
It is very soggy. It's getting into this whole what to do, what not to do. And there's a lot of people out there that will sit there and try and tell you what you should be doing. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. Like Jess says, you walk the dog, you freaking sit down, you watch TV. I sit down, do some work, fucking, just sit in a lounge, just veg. Whatever you like doing when you smoke a cigar, then do it.
Do it. Yeah.
And if anybody tries to tell you that it's wrong,
coffee in the morning
or different,
the coffee in the morning is like my solace. Like I'll go outside, have a cup of coffee, smoke a small cigar. Because I'm like you though too, Jen. Like I'm a kind of a fast smoker too, and so there are people who definitely take their time smoking. I it's not that I'm in a rush. It's kind of how I eat. It's kind of how I do things. I want to get it going. So I'm still relaxed, but it's at my own pace. And I think that's the other thing too. It's like Kevin can sit, and sometimes I'm like, "Are you almost done? Like, what's going on? Why is this taking so long?" But that's his pace, And I have to remind myself, like, we just do things a little bit differently, and that's okay. But that's why he does well in a lounge and I don't, because when I'm done, I'm done. Like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. Since it's Sunday, it's Sandela Sunday. This is a deconstructed Sandela. Nice. And these have been a huge hit at Boda. Yeah, nice. Actually, the one thing I'm proud of, and I messaged Kevin, is that they said they've had a few people that are coming in and want to know if the Candela is going to be released, because they've never had it before. But the Candela on the Sandela and the Gringo, they fell in love with. They never had Candela before. Here,
that's awesome to hear that.
I like the black, and I can't smoke it because it's like so.
I got it.
Chewy.
I know. That's why I'm going to give you this one.
The tobacco's coming off.
Oh my gosh!
It's like you were chomping on it.
Here,
like on All in the Family.
Give me this. There, smoke that.
This was this morning. I felt bad that we were like wasting all these cigars.
They were shitty cigars, though. I mean, there's a Havana honeys or whatever they call those. Mm-hmm. I got a box of them for the Bikers Week in Cuba. They've been sitting there for how long now? For months. No one buys them, no one wants them. I'll smoke one occasionally because they're not a bad cigar when I want something sweet. Mm-hmm. The Dolce ones are just kind of.
I'm going to tell you right now. Next time Jeffrey from Amendola makes his apple pie moonshine ones, you got it. Yeah. Oh my god!
Amendola's dessert cigars are really good.
I've got some right now being infused with. I've got 5 Bacardi and 5 Havana Club Cuban rum. So
I'm curious on your experience with the rum. Now, are you infusing them with the rum, or did you do the Boveda pack?
Oh, the Boveda. I'm not doing it like I'm just with the.
Let me know how it turns out, because I infused the Sandela with rum.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it just did not take that infusion the way it does with the Hennessy.
Do you feel like maybe like a sugar content plays a part in that?
Oh, I think a darker of a liquor because you get more of the
liquor, sugary, more flavor.
They get more of the impurities, the cognitures, of the alcohol are going to infuse into the.
I honestly think, in my opinion, too, I think the cheaper liquors actually work better than the more expensive liquors. Because
is that because they have fake flavoring?
Probably because there's more impurities.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things I want to infuse a cigar with is Monte Alba tequila. That's filtered through like charcoal wood. It's very smoky tequila, and it's the one that has got the worm in it. But
that's probably going to be freaking so good.
I would love. We were at the liquor store the other night because the guy wants to bring my cigars, and it's he moved his liquor store, and it's huge. He's got beer and wine.
Oh,
and
nice.
They're all kind of franchised and owned by the same folks who do Wine Express. And we had a good conversation with the guy, and he's gonna bring our cigars in. So he wants to do an event and everything. Yeah.
That's good.
But I picked up another bottle of bourbon that I really, really enjoy. It's this bourbon, and they use the same aging and filtration that they do with Japanese whiskeys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I forgot to pick up the Monte Alba because we got into the big conversation. I just wanted to pick up. I get little bottles of Hennessy and Monte Alba, but I want to see how it works out with you with the rum, because I love that whole Boveda concept and how much you experienced when you did the Jameson.
Yeah.
And how intense that was. I just think that is, I think, a very good deliverer vehicle of infusion for them.
Yeah, I'll make a note now because I'll send you a couple of each. Like I said, I did the Cuban Havana Club because I don't care for that rum at all. I actually like Bacardi's Havana Club better than the Cuban Havana, but I had a bottle of it, so I'm like, I might as well use it.
I used expensive rum when I did mine, and what I started doing was I started dipping my cigars in that mixture with
the stuff that you sent us, that sugars,
but then I throw in like a little bit of like cinnamon extract for the apple pie, and I threw in a mint extract for the mojito, and then I see like a memory pick from 8 years ago that Lars made a mojito cigar. And I was like,
did he? Yeah,
I sent it to you, Kev.
Yeah.
Oh, I in the group. I don't remember. I don't remember.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, must. Yeah, I don't remember.
Can we talk about something other than cigars now?
Yes, let's talk about your you
guys want to talk about what I've been doing?
Yeah,
with my dad. With my dad.
Yes.
So my dad has been wanting to lose some weight, which he's getting older and he's starting to really feel it, and like, I don't know, he talks about all this stuff, and like, obviously so do I, but I don't really like exercising and I don't really give a shit. But I was like, hey, let's start bike riding, because he bought these, electric bikes, which you still have to pedal, right? You don't have to use the electric part at all. But it's an assist. So, it helps him go. So I was like, look, let's start riding bikes every morning. I'll come over, we'll start riding bikes. So of course, he calls me, and I'm thinking, oh, he's going to bail. Like, he's not going to want to do this. It's like a Saturday. It was right before, because the kids were going back to school on a Monday. And I was like, let's start when the kids go back to school. I'll meet you every morning. So he calls me. It's like, oh, something's wrong with one of the bikes. And from the Hurricane, he's like, I didn't know until I just pulled them out. And I was like, oh, who cares? I'll just use the Cruiser or whatever. And he's like, no, you can still use it. He goes, but it's just not going to have the assist. I said, I don't care. I planned on pedaling. Like, I want to like exercise, right? So, but so he's so excited to do this. So I show up on Monday for us to go bike riding. He takes me fucking through like this terrain. Okay, mind you, I haven't been on a bike in forever, and I'm using the bike that's broken basically. And he's pushing his button, he's pedaling. I said 3 fucking miles. 3 miles he takes. I'm like dying. I'm like, okay, this is great. I'm not saying anything because I don't want to discourage him, but I'm like ready to fucking, like, my ass hurt. Like this, like we're going through like sand and shit, and I'm trying to fucking find the gear to like pedal through. I'm like, this is bullshit. He takes me all the way to this bridge. I'm like, I am gonna die. Like, you have a propeller. I don't have shit. So like, I'm like, whatever. So we do this. We come back, and then I'm like, all right, I'm doing it the next day. Like, get up, let's go, let's do this. So I was like, let's just stay around your area, you know. And they're in like the, you know, an encore type of area and stuff. So it's like other people come there. It's not people that live there all year round. They, you know, they have campers or buses that they come in and stuff. So we're riding through there and it's fun and stuff. But my dad's like so excited. He's like telling me everything that's going on in this campground and everything. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, this is my life.
Passing by a house when you see her, you know, and
I'm like, this is
she's cheating on her husband with this guy, but nobody.
There's these old ladies doing the silver sneakers in the pool, like the jazzercise exercise, and this lady's like screaming at them, and it's like early in the morning. It's like 7:30 in the morning. And like these people are like exercising at the pool. The guy's got the shuffleboard. I mean, it's a whole fucking community of people, right? And like they're all like, hello. And as I'm pedaling this bike, while my dad's like pushing his button, I'm like, pedal. Like, you gotta use the pedals to lose the weight. Just pushing the button doesn't help. But these campgrounds are all decked out. Like, these people all have a theme, and somebody has a whole KISS theme. They have all the masks. Gee, I gotta take a picture. It is the coolest fucking thing. They got tiki torches, like a whole tiki bar, and they got all these KISS character like masks up and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this place looks actually kind of fun. My mom's been like going to bingo and winning at bingo, and I was like, this is their whole world. Which, to be honest,
is it kind of like a seniors retirement community, but in a but in a campground format?
Yes, it's all like it is fucking awesome. And this type of place it's for anyone, right? Like, so people can rent out campsites and all this stuff. So it's not like 55 and older, you know, like, even though there is a lot of retirees there, you can be any age and stay there. There are police officers that live there, you know, in these double wides and stuff. So it's actually really, it's been nice, like, spending time with my dad. But I just realized, like, God, I didn't know shit. Like, I don't ask them anything. Like, I didn't know, like, really what their lives have been like for the last year, really. Like, I kind of felt like a bad daughter.
They're going to they're going to a freaking KISS concert, to a KISS tribute band by the elderly.
That's what my parents, my dad plays pickleball. My mom has the,
I just felt kind of like
groups. Yeah.
I felt so, like, kind of disconnected, though, and kind of, like, felt kind of guilty, because I'm like, oh man, I really didn't know, like, what they've been doing, you know. I guess I don't really think to ask, like, certain things. So it's been nice, like, riding the bike, all this stuff with him. Well, anyway, he ordered this part to fix the bike, but it hasn't come in yet. And I'm thinking, like, I probably won't use it, but I'm trying to encourage him to not use it, because that's the whole point of, like, losing the weight.
At least he's getting out and about, though.
He is, and that's the first step. Like, my dad is very, like, like, he will stay at home if need be, right? You know, so, but he's excited. So this has been nice, and I love spending time with my dad. But holy shit, he tried to kill me. Like, he tried to actually fucking I was like, Dad, you know, I haven't been on a bike in like a million years. And like, now we're 3 miles away. Now I gotta go 3 miles back through the shit.
Uber to pick me up for the bike in the back.
Where we live, there is fucking no Uber. Not, well, you know, because you tried to take Uber and it was like $50
to come pick you up.
Kevin, a good voicemail.
So I that is what I have been doing. Is trying to bond a little bit with my dad, help him lose some weight, and myself. But yeah, so this place is crazy though. They have food trucks. They have Frank's Wiener Night. Like, their side, like, they all, like, this, like, they have a fruit stand that comes in, and like, some guy flew in 300 lobsters from Maine, and people stand outside the little clubhouse and get their lobster that they pay for. It's insane, like, how much shit they do in this place. I was like, this, like, you never have to leave. Like, you never have to leave this place.
There's an apocalypse, they're set.
Yeah. They're fine. But yeah, so my dad thought it was cool to, like, take me 3 miles one way to die, and then 3 miles back the next way. I did 6 miles my first day being on a bike since I can't even remember the last time I was on a bike. For a long period of time. My ass hurt so fucking bad from that seat. I was like,
being on a bike outdoors. I mean, like I said, being on a bike inside with like a TV screen.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But you know, but I mean, like, I haven't like just leisurely rode a bike anywheres in like forever. And
we have
probably
cars.
since the kids were small, I used to go bike riding with the kids. When they were bike riding, when they were small, I used to have a bike and I would go with them, you know, like, oh, we're all bike riding. But you're not going fast. You're not going far. Yeah, no. My dad was like, oh, you got to check this out. Check that out. Oh, it's really sweet. I'm going to die.
I used to do a lot of mountain biking when I graduated college. So did I. Probably mid to late 20s. We used to, with this girl I was dating, we'd like load up our bikes, just drive to a mountain and just do mountain biking, or we go to a campground, like a campground where you got your little section, and then we just do mountain biking and then come back to the campground.
That's what my daughter Amber does, and Bobby. Like I said, they got friends and they'll load up their bikes and go to Georgia or wherever here in Florida, different places.
Well, they've done it a few times. I mean, their friends are more into it. I think, Amber's done it a few times. But, I am not doing that. I mean, maybe at some point I might build my strength up to do that.
My buddy Daryl's one of the guys. He owns a repair shop down in Venice. And he's got the bright outfits, like the skin tight. He's got the helmet.
Oh, like he's doing like marathon type of biking, like those bikers.
Like the 10 speeds. And he's got like the devices to balance his wheels and and it's
I had a buddy at Enterprise
shorts with like the pads and
I will tell you, I am impressed on how many people are bike riders now. Like, I always knew there's bike riders in Florida. I mean, everybody has a fucking bike in Florida. Like, I hit them almost on a daily basis, like some of the bike riders, because they're terrible. They don't go on the bike path like they're supposed to. But
I've been with you in a car. I wouldn't always put it on the bike, being the person that has the.
Do you really want to keep talking shit about how I drive? Do we really want to do that?
I'm just saying it might not always be the bicyclist.
Kevin, you don't.
This
get
is
to
the
talk.
bullies I missed.
You don't get to talk. Anyway, I just fuck off, Kevin, about my driving. You are alive, aren't you? Deal with it. You are okay. I don't got time for people to be fucking in the way. They got to get the fuck out of my way. I got to go.
They need to adhere to it.
Listen, they don't use the bike lane. And listen, who are you? You bitch when people are on the road riding a bike.
You're like, with you, Jess, and I can't necessarily say it's the biker.
You know what? They need to adhere to the rules too. Why should we, look twice or whatever it is?
But in my parents' complex thing, whatever, there's all these really cool bikes. Like there's bikes I've never even knew existed that these people have, and they have them like all decked out and stuff. Like it's a thing. Like so we're riding our bikes and waving to everyone. Like
the
now
beach cruisers with the big fucking wheels on them now.
Wyatt has a 3-wheeler, which is what my mom needs. Right. Okay, so my mom is losing her eyesight, so she's been having to get shots in her eyes for the last couple years and to try to prolong her eyesight. But it's gotten worse over the years. But she is clumsy to begin with. But she has fallen off the bikes way too much, and it's gotten her. And so we're trying to convince her to get a 3-wheeler. They have electric ones too. Like that way she can actually like go bike riding and it be safe. Like be safe. Because the whole thing is she's not able to do the bike riding anymore.
Right.
And so, I mean, she fell and sent Wyatt to go get my dad to help her. And Wyatt just came in and was like, hey, Pop. And like my dad's like, where's Granny? When she do fall? And he went, yup. But my dad like just thought he was yupping him, sure, yeah. So he's like sitting there and all of a sudden a couple minutes go by and he's like, where's your grandma? Where's your granny? And so he gets up and he sees my mom bleeding, walking down the road like, I fell. I sent Wyatt for help. I was like, you sent Wyatt for help? Like, what were you thinking?
That's great.
So yeah, no, she needs something safe. But I feel like, she'll probably never do it, but Wyatt has a 3-wheeler and it's worked out really well, him having a 3-wheeler, because he's not a good bike rider either. There are passengers and there are drivers, and Wyatt is definitely a passenger. So I don't know. It's been fun. I hope my dad sticks with it. I hope he doesn't, because he's canceled on me like once already. So I'm like, we'll see. I get it. I go over there super early too, and I know it pisses him off because he kept trying to say, "Oh, let's go like 8:39." I was like, no, I get the kids on the bus. We're going. Like, we're going. I want to be out and about. Like, I want to be up and moving. He's like, oh, I gotta do that. I'm like, you don't have anything to do. What are you doing? You're retired. Let's go.
What have you been doing, Kev? Have you been bike riding? I tell you what, I have seen the progress in the lounge, your guys' lounge.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome. It's exciting. We got all the insulation up. I've got all the Cat 6 cable run everywhere. I think it's going to need. I got HDMI cables hidden in the wall, coax cable in the wall. So
we have a couple other things to do.
I got a couple other things to hide in the wall. For future projects, just to have cable there, right? Not going anything right now, but
we
take advantage of it now while everything's exposed.
While everything's exposed.
We fixed our boo-boo mistake with the dryer. When we didn't have it piped through to, have an outlet for that.
I watched that. I watched your video.
So now we got the dry. I will say it's been interesting because we didn't have it connected for the water to go in, that it accumulates. Mm-hmm. So I did a load to see how the towels. Oh my God, it fills up so much water. So now he connected today, right?
I got a drain hose.
The drain hose. So now we have to see how well that actually works. I
don't know. First one to like that video. I watched it.
Oh, right. I don't think I'll ever go back to a vented dryer again. I think it does so much.
Dries the clothes so much better. It takes longer, obviously, but it's using less energy. And I feel like the clothes just seem better. Everything seems dried better, fluffier.
What's the whole concept behind that? If there is not a ventilation to vent that hot air and everything else, then where does it go to? Does it recycle it back into heat to dry the clothing?
I have the heat pump design, so it sucks surrounding air in. It goes over the heat pump, which heats the air. Mm-hmm. Puts it in the dryer, and then it goes through the dryer and it keeps going back through the heat pump.
And then the moisture.
So the heat pump keeps reheating the air.
Well, so you designed it?
No.
Well, that's what he said.
Samsung.
Oh, I thought he said I have the heat pump.
Kevin's like, I designed.
Did you say that? I did.
He said I have the heat pump, and I'm like, oh no, fucking brilliant.
Kevin. I have the heat pump design. There's two. There's compressor style or condenser style and heat pump style.
That's why I was like,
our fridge where I designed the
Kev.
That we want.
Yeah,
I didn't know you had moonlighting at Samsung.
Yeah, so I have the heat pump design. So since there's no heating elements that heat the drum and heat the hot air to scorching levels, it's a lot gentler on your clothes.
Yeah.
And then as it pulls the water out, there's a pump that pumps it into a tray.
Yeah.
And you just pull the tray out. And then today I hooked up. I bought the one that had the external hose where you could just drain it with your washing machine.
It's awesome. And I will say, because in the past, even with the other dryer, which is a great dryer, don't get me wrong, it still dried well. I noticed that my towels still kind of felt damp, even on different set. I've tried everything, even our comforter stuff. This, you only had to do 2 rounds with the comforter, right?
Yeah.
In the past, I've had to do 4.
Really?
On our old one.
Reset it.
And then the towels always were damp, always. Or a pair of pants or something were always damp. Yeah. Not once has this, it's all come. And I pushed the limit because I told Kevin, I said, I put as much as I could in it just to see what it would do with towels. Tried the setting. It was fucking amazing. I was like, I don't think I've ever
I was playing your
towels.
video, Kev, today, and I was telling Jen about it. And she's like, well, what happens? I'm like, I don't know.
Where does it go?
I said, I'd have to imagine it probably recycles
So
that.
it also has a vent trap. So it's got double layers. So when you pull out, you clean it out. I mean, it catches everything.
Yeah, so it's got a double lint trap. Yeah. It's got it does have the heat pump, a little tray that you got to pull out once a month and vacuum in case any lint gets by it.
Yeah,
but and then whatever air it doesn't use, it's just putting back into the environment, into the garage. But it's already used air, so it's air that's already been cooled by the clothes. So it's not dumping hot air into the garage. So the air that you feel coming out of the vent is just cool air. Whatever air it doesn't use or what? Not cool air, whatever air, ambient air. If it's
tap water.
Listen, and you're in the garage in the summertime, it's not going to matter. You're not going to feel a difference. It's literally just humid.
And it's just nice just being able to put a dryer wherever you want.
That's freaking convenient as hell.
Not have to worry about cleaning out your vent hose or having someone come and do that. And
I'm definitely impressed by this. Obviously, we were both kind of like, oh, it's kind of small, but it's really not that bad. Like, you can't put as much as we could like the other one, but it's fine. But my only thing was getting used to the timing it, because I used to do like a load, throw some in the dryer, and then do another load, and then that would be done so I could put the other stuff in the dryer. This, you have to kind of like time it out a little bit better because it does take a little bit longer. But it is using less energy. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been interesting.
That'll be our next thing after our dishwasher debacle.
No, I think our washer and dryer are fine. Next thing down the road will be a stove, but
same for us. We're ready for it.
It takes forever to heat up, and it works fine. I'm no rush whatsoever. We weren't planning on a dishwasher, but we have it now.
Because our garbage disposal shit to bed like a couple months, 2 months ago. So I went out and I bought a new garbage disposal. And I'm like, you know what? Over the holiday break, when I have some time off and my brother-in-law has some time off, we'll reinstall it. So, he comes over and we're installing it. And I'll say it now just because my dad doesn't listen to this. Because my dad, he's 81, 82, but still fucking sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's a mechanic and an electrician. So, and he's a handy guy. He's always has been. He did all the work in our houses, and he's like, make sure you punch out that drain, area for the, in the garbage disposal for your dishwasher. I'm like, yeah, Dad, I got it. So we installed the garbage disposal. And I said, Uncle Bob, the punch out, the drain. I said, do you do that? Yeah, that's fine. A lot of these don't even. It's just, he sat there and gave me like everything. I go, are you sure? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okie dokie. So Jen claims that she ran a couple of.
I did.
She ran a couple of loads through the dishwasher, and then one day I'm out here smoking my cigar, being calm and relaxing, and I hear this. If you have a few minutes, I need you to come in here. I'm like, why? She's like, water's pouring out of the dishwasher onto my feet.
I could understand why I'm standing in a puddle.
I'm like, all right.
Thank God I was at the sink.
So I go in, and I'm like, just get towels. We put towels down, and I'm like, give me some towels, and I'll sop the water up in the dishwasher. And I threw a towel in and it sank to the bottom. I'm like, that's a lot of fucking water. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I get the shop vac, suck it all out, and it was full. Like, the shop vac was like, okay, I've had enough. Because we have a smaller one. Mm-hmm. Go out, pour it out. And I'm like, she's like, the seals. And I'm looking, it's an older dishwasher. It's like,
it was coming out of the bottom.
And it was like,
well, I had to go somewhere.
Well, yeah, but
that amount of water, right?
Then our dishwasher also, since we moved in, even with the old garbage disposal, it would clean the dishes and it would dry, but you could definitely tell it was on its last leg. So I'm like, what the hell? Maybe the dishwasher just shit the bed. So we get a new dishwasher. So we're hand washing everything.
Samsung.
And Joe does such a wonderful job of hand washing.
I actually didn't mind the hand washing because I could do it
I didn't
quickly
say you,
with a double
Joe.
sink.
Joe
just refused to do it. He thought it was like, how dare you
fucking kids, man.
Go back to Little House on the Prairie times
unaware
and have me
of
wash
reality.
Dishes.
He's like, how did you guys do this in the past? I was like, we fucking washed dishes. We dried them.
Believe it or not, I
put them away.
I can't
just leave them on the counter.
I can't get Gabby to put her dishes in the dishwasher. She'll stand at the sink and wash the same plate for fucking 20 minutes, which drives me nuts.
I sat in the living room and there's a dish in the sink. I'm like, Joe, clean dishes. Like, all right. He was in there for like 40 minutes. I walk over and there's like 3 bowls, 2 plates, and a bunch of silverware.
That feels greasy.
And I'm like, what the hell have you been doing?
Yeah. Yep.
And then I pick up the bowl and it's like, did you like
use cold water?
Double sink.
No.
Soapy on one side, Put it in the oven.
I pick up the bowl and I'm like, did you wash this with motor oil? Like it's all oily and greasy. So it smells like fucking. I'm like,
what do you use?
I don't know.
I don't think he used anything.
I don't know.
I think he used olive oil.
Oh my God.
He used the jet dry. He thought that was soap.
Something, some kind of hand lotion.
So I'm like, what the fuck? So we get the dishwasher, gets installed. The guys, they show up and they're like, we're not allowed to install dishwashers that are a direct hardwire. And I'm like,
I look at Kerr, I'm like, we paid for an install.
I'm like, yeah, I paid for an install. And to be honest with you, it didn't say anything about that. So, and the guy's like, we'll install it. And I'm sitting there thinking, these probably bullshit, just get a bigger tip. So nice guys, they install everything. They're like, okay, we're gonna run off the cleaning because you want to run everything out, because it's a new dishwasher, blah, 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 blah. It's 14 minutes. Click. Have a great day. I'm like, okay. So I go and I'm sitting there eating lunch and I hear beep, 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 beep. And it's going on and on. So I open up the dishwasher and I'm like, okay, fucking whatever, it's done. SC's flashing. So I look it up. It's not draining properly. There's water in the bottom of it. So I'm like, motherfucker. So I pull it out, pull out the trap, everything, dig it in there. Everything seems fine. And then I'm like, Uncle Bob. Remember, Kevin? I was messaging Kevin too at this.
Okay, Kevin mentioned it to me, and I was like, "Oh, Kevin must have been so bad."
I wasn't.
And I reach in, put my finger. I'm like, my finger's in the fucking thing. I'm like, no wonder the water's not draining because it can't get in here. And
what
I'm
is
like,
it? A valve or a plug?
I stuck my hand into the garbage disposal, and I could feel where Kerr was pushing on, and it's sealed.
Jen, you said that you ran a couple of.
I did.
She was like, I did. I go, but when I asked you, you said, I did. I think I maybe.
I did.
And she's like, I did. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Well, the old dishwasher, I'm like, listen, any dishwasher has seals. They all have seals. But if you fill a dishwasher with water, it's going to leak because it's not a waterproof fucking vessel. Yeah. And so I went in there. And Kevin's like, yeah, it just takes the easy tap. So I'm like, tap, tap. I'm like, motherfucker. Like, I didn't have a lot. I'm like, this thing's. So I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Fucking reconnect the hose, ran the dishwasher. Here comes the water flow.
There's the water shooting
I'm
out
like,
into the...
son of a bitch. And I
what
said,
is it? Like a cap? Like
so there's a nub on the side of a garbage disposal. So if you don't have a dishwasher, if it filled up, it would fill up underneath the sink. Gotcha. So you pop that plug out. So you can put
just a piece of plastic, just a piece of plastic that seals that end. And if you don't have a dishwasher, you keep it. If you do, you pop it. So, and my dad and I was like, I'm not telling my dad this at all. He's right. So I send a picture with a piece of plastic to my sister, and I said, hey, this is a $700 piece of plastic.
Yeah.
Woo.
I'm gonna need about $350 back.
Yeah.
And she's like, huh? She's like, huh? I'm like, Uncle Bob put in the I said, and this. I got a whole new dishwasher.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but like you said,
and my niece is like, she's like, can't you return it? I'm like, they took the old one away. So it is what it is. I mean,
that's what I asked Kevin. I said, "Ooh, did they already remove the old one?
I paid for them to take the old one too."
Yeah.
And Kevin's like, "I'm pretty sure they did." And I went,
I messaged my brother-in-law, and I'm like, "Hey, blah blah blah. Here's what happened." He goes, "Well, at least it wasn't a major project." I was like,
"Yeah,
a major project. That's a project.
New dishwasher. $700.
So did you get the nice Samsung with the garbage disposal built into the dishwasher?"
Well, no, because only
what
I saw that one. Yeah. We were limited with the space. It's odd. Our appliance area sizes are very odd. Like we had trouble finding a new microwave too, and so I had the one I wanted from Samsung.
It was bigger, Jess. You're absolutely right. The one that she wanted was like 3 inches fucking wider.
It was, and it would have been the white glass, which would have matched our bougie fridge. So I had to go one size down to fit it, which is stainless steel.
And you suffered in silence when you ordered it.
I did. it works great. I still don't understand that top rack that you could put flat like larger utensils.
Oh, I use it all the time. It's fucking awesome. I have little container
space with it though. Like I don't see myself using it.
I put spatulas on there. I put lids on there.
Spatulas elsewhere. I don't.
That's where it goes.
You know, and then your drawers are adjustable, right? Like
and also the little other pieces are for like your wine glasses, all that stuff.
Because I could bend the other things on the bottom.
You can remove like parts. I love it. I love that top thing.
I'm not too pissed off about it because when we did the first load in the dishwasher, when it came out, they were all dry. Yeah. Before they were always wet because, like I said, it was kind of on its last leg. And it was always like a little cloudy, a little this. Fucking all of them, fucking perfectly clean.
Felt
it was like we didn't get the one with the garbage disposal either. I didn't have the size. They have one that with like the garbage disposal built in, but we did get the one that the door pops open automatically and then the fan comes on. Yeah. And it helps dry it.
No idea. I don't think that.
No, we didn't get that bougie.
It does have the app that I could add to my phone app that the fridge is on. I'm thinking, why would I use the app for the dishwasher? Like, am I going to be at work and be like?
Yeah, you can time it, but I'm surprised because I thought on that model, like on one of the apps, all of them have like at the end of the cycle. The door automatically pops open like 2 inches.
It may. We don't know. We had to read the manual. I mean, it just was like
it should pop open.
We went from installation to it's not draining to now it's draining to the very first load that went through it and pulling.
So if you walk in and the door is open, it probably because it pops open by itself.
I have to actually once I finish cleaning up from dinner when we're done with the show, I'm gonna run it on a full cycle and we'll let you know.
But yeah, I mean, just I bust my brother-in-law's balls a little bit, but I was like, we needed the dishwasher itself, the old one. You found yourself. I mean, I found myself opening up the door and letting them kind of dry, or you'd have to dry them off because they're still a little wet and putting them away.
Washing them twice.
Yeah, it was on its last leg, and
very old one.
And since we moved into this house, I think out of all the appliances, the washer and dryer are probably the most, the newest. Like one day, the fucking microwave just died.
Yeah.
So I mounted and installed a new microwave. Now the dishwasher, the stove still works. We're gonna do the self cleaning. Because Jennifer hates the self-cleaning microwave, much like she was fearful of the French press.
We have a self-cleaning microwave.
Stove.
So it takes a long time. We were going to do it today, but when Kerry looked it up to see how long it was, I'm like, I'm going to need to use the oven to cook. So we're going to need to do it on a day that it can take that amount of time.
We can do it tomorrow morning.
Because it gets hot. It gets hot. I mean, it gets 600-700 degrees inside that oven.
That scares me.
Yeah. You don't ever want.
Do we have a fire extinguisher?
Yeah, you don't ever want.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know when you do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not going to catch fire, and the door automatically locks, so you can't open it up.
I think Kevin just hit the nail on the head. We have one of those stoves that doesn't have a locking mechanism.
Yeah, neither do we, but it automatically locks.
How does it lock, though?
The same way as it automatically locks the fucking washing machine when you hit freaking on.
Yeah, you because if you opened up an oven at 700 degrees, it would melt your face instantly. So yeah, it automatically locks.
Huh. I feel very alarmed by this conversation about the heat.
Shut up, Jess.
Like, I don't know. That's really scary.
No, it just turns everything.
You were scared of the freaking French press. You thought the glass was going to break.
That's not 600-700 degrees.
Yeah, it turns everything to ash inside. Wow. Like, you'll open it up, everything will be clean except the
it's a self. That's the whole idea behind it.
So what do you but I would just buy it. Just buy the oven. Just buy the oven cleaner and spray it
in your kitchen.
That's exactly what it is.
Crematory.
Yes, and I will make you fit. So
we could cremate animals in our kitchen.
Yeah,
if you want to look at it that way, you sick fuck.
Yeah, yes, definitely no. It's definitely no joke.
Yeah, it's self cleaning. That's what happens.
Extinguisher. I don't think we have.
We have fucking a fire. We got 2 of them.
Where is it?
Oh my god!
It should be in the kitchen.
You need to get the new fire extinguishers that are like aerosol cans because they don't go bad and you can use them over and over again. Because once a fire extinguisher, once you crack it and use it,
that's Fire Marshal Kev.
Yeah, they have the new ones. Yeah, they have them. Yeah, it's like a big.
That's funny.
But just don't confuse it with your can of brake clean or something.
They're ready for me to not be here. Right
now. That was the other thing too. Is over the break, Joe went out skating his new board, slammed it into the wall. So he's like, I need to fix this. I'm like, okay. I need to remove the grip on my skateboard, and I need to fix the wood. I gotta get wood filler. Do you have any? I said, no, go out and get some. I gave him the brands and shit here. He goes, okay, I need a razor blade. And I'm just like, fucking ER, right? That's the first thing. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna remove the the grip. I'm like, Joe, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I skateboarded years ago, but nothing like these kids do.
No, right.
But I do have some common sense that circulates through my brain and understanding the gripping of these. And I'm like, why don't we just use my heat gun?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to use.
Or a blow dryer.
And he goes, well, that will warp the wood. I go, whoa, slow your roll, bro. So I Google it because, I actually use my freaking intelligent device for intelligent things.
Yeah.
And the first thing that pops up is how to remove your freaking, your skateboard's freaking grip, heat gun, or a hairdryer if you don't have one. But it takes longer with this. So he's like, well, do you think? I'm like, just shut the fuck up. So we got down. Yeah. I got the heat gun. I was explaining to him, went back and forth. And all of a sudden, boom, within freaking 5 minutes, we got the freaking thing on. He goes, so how do I get all this sticky stuff off of the top? I go, well,
Gooby Gone.
Gooby Gone. We can get some Gooby Gone. I said, but I'm telling you right now, I learned this a long time ago. The best shit is just gasoline.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got gas. Yeah. I said, anytime you see those stickers on your windows.
Gasoline works good.
No, and he sat there and argued. He goes, I saw WD-40 could do it. I go, yes, but it's a little. I said, fine.
It will still make it grimy.
Here's your WD-40. Have at it.
WD-40 on wood. The wood will absorb it, and the new pad will never stick to
it. I tried to explain to him the concept of a lubricant.
Yes.
But he swore. I go, okay, whatever. So he comes back. He's like, it's still sticky. And I'm like, and it smells like WD-40 in the house.
Yeah.
It's on the floor. I'm like, let me see, the big fucking puddle of it. So,
oh shit.
I kind of, walk him through how to freaking use a razor to scrape off the goo and shit like that. And then I'm like, get some soapy water. We did that, the whole thing. And then he put the other one back on. Everything was fine. But it was like the whole, like when I was a kid, if I said, Dad, how do I do this? He'd say, here's how you do it. I'll say, okay, great. And I did it.
You would do it.
Yeah. Now it's like, how do you do this? Here's how you do it. Well, why? Well, shouldn't we do it? And it's like,
then why are you asking?
I told him, I said, don't ask. I was like, and his eyes bulged out of his head as we use the heat gun to remove this freaking thing.
But that still did not convince him to listen to you about the gas.
I mean, Jess, I mean, for years, I looked up, I was like, how many more times do I have to be right about something? I appreciate
now, asking why is not a bad thing when you're genuinely curious of the mechanics of it or how, because Graham was very much like that. Like, he would not be like, why to be defiant. He'd be like, why? I want to know for knowledge, right? But he would still do, like, my dad would tell him how to do something, and that's how he would do it. Like, I would say, this is how you would do it, and he would do it that way. But he would, like, ask why,
Yeah, I just look it up on, like when Dick was alive, any electrical I didn't want to call, have him come over for something minor. I would YouTube how to do it, and then I would just call him. I go, hey Dick, I watched this video, and he goes, yeah, that's the right way to do it. Or he'd be like, hey, here's an easier way.
Right.
I still ask my dad. I realize at this age I got to hear the stories and all the 8,000 warning signs. After watching my dad freaking install electricity in our old home, installing electricity into my home in Harrisburg, and everything else. My dad's the kind of guy who's like, yeah, see, this wire's dead. You want to? That's like, you know, like he goes, this wire's live, and he'll pull like a screwdriver and like see the sparks. Like he's that kind of guy. Because
do they have like a skate shop like anywhere in your area?
Oh yeah, but he changes the trucks himself. He knows how to do board maintenance. And
that was the other thing. He goes,
he
goes, I left my truck changing gear at Grant's. I go, okay. He goes, and I looked at it, I go, I got some Allen wrenches and a screwdriver. And he goes, and a wrench. And he goes, yeah, but that's not a truck changing kit.
Yeah, like, that's not a truck. It's not a truck 9/16. You know.
Well, here's Kevin. I shit you not. Here's the conversation. I'm like, okay, here is my fucking ratchet screwdriver, and here's my box end freaking wrench. I said, I'm gonna put it over the fucking nut, and just. He goes, yeah, but you gotta do the nuts. I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter if you do it from this fucking end or this fucking end. The idea is to get them apart by going a certain way and then doing them a certain way. I'm like, watch. And I put the box in on, and I went, and I got it out, and he goes, well, you didn't have to move the wrench end. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. Like, he was amazed.
Yeah. He builds his own boards.
At the concept that this was not, like, the tools that I have over here are not the official skateboard freaking kit.
It's just what he's used to, like what he's been introduced to, and like that's. I mean, that I
very
kind
good. You can be his therapist.
Listen, but I mean, I see it from. But he also like these are good life lessons. They really
I see from that end too. But there's also the life lesson of
listen to Kerr.
Well, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
Well,
I get that.
Have you ever ridden a skateboard? No, but I've taken fucking screws off of fucking bolts before. I've done this.
Welcome to teenagers who are like, fuck you to their parents. Like, it could have been another adult telling him and he'd probably be receptive, but it's you. So he's like, fuck off. That's how I feel like. Even Graham was like that. And I was like, I just said the same goddamn thing.
Yep.
Well, like, it's you. Like, I'm not listening to you. But like Kevin could probably say the same thing and he would have listened, you know?
Yeah,
like it's just that way.
He was amazed. It wasn't the skateboard truck fucking removal set. I'm like, here's an Allen wrench.
Made by Thrasher.
Here's an Allen wrench. It goes in the same fucking hole.
Welcome to being a mechanic. Like I said, there are lots of times I don't have a tool. You make it work. You make it work.
Yeah, but that's also comes
but a
with
screw is a screw, a bolt is a bolt.
A bolt is a bolt.
Allen wrench, and fucking it's like this.
But then here's the other thing is taking that leap, right? Like, he would have to be okay with it maybe damaging it more or like not working and then having to replace it fully. So like maybe somewhere in his logic is like, I want to follow these certain steps. No? Okay. I was trying to give him an out.
I'll tell you what, though, he does listen because he was like, I want to hang my skateboards in my room. Like, okay, you go, where? Up there. I'm like, all right, how do you want to hang them? This way. I'm like, all right, we can't do that. Why? I said, because you need a really long screw because it's got to I said, you literally have an 1.5 inch gap between your board and the wall. He's like, well, Grant did it. I go, how did Grant do it? And he sends me this video where his buddy ran like freaking rubber bands through the holes and then hung it with a freaking thumbtack, like a push pin.
What?
And I'm like,
no.
Yeah, that's not going to work. I said,
if you met Grant,
I said, yeah. And I'm like, Grant's like hangs them like at freaking waist level. Like, and I'm sure that freaking Grant's not going to tell you he's got to fucking push pin that bitch up every other day. I said, you want to hang it above a doorway? I'm like, it needs to be secure. You need a block of wood between the fucking skateboard and the wall. I said, and we need to freaking get like a molly to make sure this thing is freaking actually secure. So it's not going to fall down and fucking crack someone in the fucking skull. Well, Grant did it. I'm like, well, then hang it at Grant's level and do what he did. Well, I wanted up there. I said,
you know what would be cool is if you guys did like a whole pegboard wall and then he could buy little clips and hang all the boards on the pegboard.
You just go on Amazon. Go on Amazon and buy the attachments.
He has his flags and
he's got everything
stuff.
hanging up there. So it's like he knows what he wants. He knows where he wants it. It's like the concept of how to do it. I actually got a 2x4, like a block from some of my 2x4s. I'm like, this is perfect. I said, but we need a spacer, and I found a spacer. I'm like, this will work. Like, but we need, in order to get from point A to point B and actually have it secure into the wall, we need longer screws. It's not. I said, I'm not going to have something hanging where this much of the screw is into the fucking drywall.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a freaking, a skateboard. I'm like, Joe, you can't do that. Do you want to hang it the other way? The other way will work. He goes, I want to hang it this one. I'm like, well, then no.
He commandeered the gift that we sent you, Kevin. Kerr got one for himself for the lounge. It's hanging in Joe's room.
So yeah, I literally the gift
that Lars is painting that Lars gave us.
The cigar smoking face that I sent you. I literally when I saw that at Boda Cigars, I walked into Boda, and Dave ordered some cigars, and I see this freaking thing. So I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like, that looks like Kev.
Yeah, that's funny.
and he goes, here's where I got it. He gave me just like where was it again?
Boiling Springs.
No, it wasn't in Boiling Springs. It was the opposite end. He gave me the city, and he goes, it's this, and it was like the interstates, the highways. And I'm like, so how do I know? He goes, just look it up. So I'm like, all right. So I looked it up. So I fucking drove an hour. And I drove through the parts of South Carolina that is the
you
south
don't want to be in
of South Carolina. And I pull up to this fucking gas station with a freaking, it's like a gas station / restaurant / freaking, this kind of shit. And I walk in, and they got this guy's artwork hanging all over this wall. Everything from little bitty faces to a real huge one for like $500. And I'm like, I love it. I'm like, this would be perfect for Kevin. I'm like, this fucking, this is going to look great in a lounge. It's unique. It's different.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The whole story behind it is how in Germany, they would carve these faces into the woods to mark off freaking their property.
Right.
And I'm like, this fucking story, this guy, it's awesome. So I grab a bunch of them, I buy them, and I bring them home, and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, this is for Kevin. And Joe's like, yeah, I want that one. I was like, that one was for my lounge.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Joe.
Yeah.
So he fell in love with it. Yeah. Fell in love with it instantly. And he's like, I want it right. He knew exactly where he wanted it. I want it right there on my wall. And it's hanging up next to his closet.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was quite the trip. I'd like to go out there again, or at least get in contact with the guy, because it's amazing. The whole story behind it, the wood that he gets, the carving. So
that's cool.
Joe definitely he commandeered one of them.
Yeah. I used to love watching the guys like do the logs with the chainsaws and stuff, and do like bears or different totems or something like that.
Again, I get my dad's uncle. I guess it'd be my great uncle. He used to carve. It'd be like chain link, like log chains. Yeah. But they'd only be like 12 inches long, all out of wood. He would take just a solid piece of wood and carve, and then all the links moved and everything else.
How cool is that?
That's neat.
Nobody has that much time, and
Well, he apparently did.
Yeah, back then my dad said he'd sit on his porch and just whittle and carve these, chains out of wood.
After a while, like when you see like people, and like obviously if they're older and they have perfected their craft, it does not probably take them as long as it did when they first started doing.
Well, no, it's second nature to them. I mean, when we went to Joe's one of his best friends, we went to their lake house up in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And we're out in the back deck, and he's got a tree, and it's a fucking totem pole,
which is so cool.
And I took a picture of it. I'm like, this is awesome. He goes, yeah. He goes, this was a fucking tree that freaking during a storm, it got topped, And he goes, I was going to cut it down. Because one of the retirees, and this is kind of like, it's really weird. This lake community in Tennessee, it's like, it's weird. It's a weird community. But he's like, yeah, Jeb, down the road who has the the garage where I store my boats, like it's like everybody knows everybody and everything about them. He's like, yeah, he does this wood carving. He said a summer the guy came out and he carved this totem pole into this tree. So there's a tree that's right next to our deck, like right next to it, that Jen wants to build a deck around it, like
like I want our deck.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. Yeah,
do an octagon shape and have a tree in the center.
I'm like that tree would be a great tree to just fucking top, drop it, and then just fucking do a totem pole in it.
Yeah, you know, when our buddy Butch moved up to North Carolina, and I remember he'd been up there for, I don't know, 6 months or so, and it was like wintertime, nothing to do. And one day he'd posted a picture.
When he started making all them birdhouses?
Yeah, so birdhouses was next, but he had carved a bear into a tree or out of a big log. And everybody's like, "Oh my god, how long have you been doing this?" And he goes, "Yeah, like this morning."
Yeah,
like it was, but he's so artistic.
Creative,
like he picked up a chainsaw, saw a piece of wood, and like carved a bear.
I mean, I used to watch those guys.
Get the fuck out of here! You know, people spend their whole lives, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna do a bear today."
I don't think it's that complicated.
Michelangelo says, David. He said, like, how did you take a piece of granite or whatever and chisel this David? He's like, well, I saw David, I just had to clear away the other fucking parts of the marble,
right? But I've seen like so many people do that wood art. Like when living in North Carolina, you believe it or not, lots of people do that. Doesn't mean it looks
a dead cat around without someone doing fucking chainsaw wood art,
right? I'm saying like there's plenty of people doing it, and maybe some of them look better than others, but
they do.
But like I think it also depends on like the wood that they're using and everything. But I've seen some guys do them fast too, and I'm like, damn.
When I was in the restaurant business, they used to, for every Sunday for the brunch, the head chef would do ice sculptures out of chainsaws, and I tried once, and it's just like, fuck that.
You have to really just
he'd bang out these intricate ice sculptures in like 2 hours, and it'd just be like a bird in flight, like. What the fuck is this?
I don't. Yeah,
I can make a cross.
Yeah.
Right. That's funny. Oh man, I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
All right, I start call tomorrow.
Jen starts call tomorrow.
But then we go away the following week.
50 is
right around the corner for me.
We got the big show tomorrow, the big return.
Yeah.
I tapped that with Matt Booth
and friends. Yeah,
friends.
Who are the friends?
Ronnie from Secreto and Maddie Cupcakes from Havana House in Cincinnati or Cleveland. I can't remember. So
it's gonna be a wild night.
That's it. I only have one
one-on-one cigars.
I will get some tomorrow.
Yeah, I only have one question on my list. That's it. I'm gonna ask one question and then let it ride.
Yep.
Yep. We'll go from there. So, all right. On that note, I'm Bully Kevin.
I'm Bully Jess.
I'm Bully Kerr.
I'm Bully Jen.
And remember,
bullies make good friends.
From Kev, Jess, Kerr, and Jen, we are the Broadleaf Bullies. Thank you for joining us. And remember, bullies make good friends.